Welcome to the third part of the video presentation on research methodology. And next we will discuss about the chemical literature. Before taking up the work on a research problem, one has to know whether any work was reported on the same problem. If so, he would know the extent to which the work was carried out. He should also know the work on a related field. And chemical literature can be broadly divided into three categories: primary, secondary, and tertiary. A primary source publishes the original result of laboratory investigations. And there are two types of primary sources: journals and patents. Whereas secondary sources are interpretations and evaluations of primary sources. And secondary sources include indexes, abstracts, review articles, handbook, catalogs, etc. And the third, tertiary sources, consist of information which is a distillation and collection of primary and secondary source. Encyclopedia, dictionaries, handbook are examples of tertiary sources. So coming to the primary source, there are two types of primary sources. The first one is a journal. All the new work, such as a new preparation method, new compound, new technique, will be published first in journals. There are thousands of journals that publish chemical paper in many countries and in many languages. And they are published bi-monthly, monthly, quarterly, etc. Journals publish three types of publications, namely paper, notes, and communication. If the work is substantial and if it gives complete detail with the sufficient data, it is published as a paper. The next, notes. A note is a brief paper published without a summary and abstract. It is more or less similar to a paper, but it may be of a very small scope. Most of the journals do not publish notes. And the last one, communications, are brief but significant, and they differ from paper in three aspects. They are brief and condensed. Usually they include only the most important experimental details. They are of immediate significance. Communications are preliminary reports, and material in them may be republished as papers at a later date. And the second type of primary source is patents. A patent is for a new compound or for a new method for making a non-compound. The patents are very useful for a chemist, and no literature search is complete that neglects relevant patents. The patents are not so as reliable as papers due to some patents are written so that certain essential details are concealed. So moving to the next slide, secondary sources. The sources like indexes, abstracts, review articles, handbooks, catalogs, etc., which are used to refer the primary sources, are called secondary sources. The first one is title publication. These publications list the title of current papers, and this is useful for the chemist to read only the paper relevant to his work. And current contents is a title publication. It is started in the year 1967 and it appears weekly. And next one is abstracts. Abstracts of a paper gives a summary of the paper, and so they are very useful. And the chemical abstract is published by American Chemical Society. It covers 18,000 journals. Okay. And the next one is Beilstein. It's a multi-volume handbook of organic compounds. It is also a secondary source. And finally, reviews. A review article is an intensive survey of a specific field. A good review article is of enormous value because it is a thorough survey of all the work done in the field under discussion. If one wants to collect the literature on a particular field up to 2002, and if he gets a review on that field in the year 1995, then that review will cover all the work done on that field till 1994. There is no need for him to do literature survey in that field before 1994. Okay. And these are the important literature search engines, very important for a chemist or any researcher: ScienceDirect, Skyfinder, and Chemical Abstract Services. And these are the three different types of publications. One is article, the second one is review, and the third one is communication. An article is a novel and important research study of a high quality and of interest to that specific research community. And review article. Review articles accumulate the results of many different articles on a particular topic. It is an authoritative, balanced, and scholarly survey of recent developments in a research field. And finally, communications. These are very short descriptions of the important current research findings that are usually fast tracked for immediate publication because they are considered urgent. Okay. And finally, the impact factor of an academic journal is a measure reflecting the average number of citations to recent articles published in the journal. Journals with a high impact factor are more important than journals with a low impact factor. It was devised by Eugene Garfield. It is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. An example is also given. And finally, thank you. And this is an attempt to discuss the research methodology for a chemistry scholars prescribed by Mahatma Gandhi University. Hope this is highly beneficial to all. Your suggestions and comments are most welcome. Thank you once again. Thank you.